Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. And joining me in the studio this morning is Dr. Steve Barsky, who is a psychotherapist. We have seen him before, but we never have enough time to talk with him. So welcome, Dr. Steve. How are you?
Thank you so much, Adrienne. I appreciate it very much.
So let's talk about what issues can counseling help.
Counseling can help in so many issues, and I think first probably to say is that everyone has issues. Sure. It's impossible. It's impossible to go through life without disappointments. If you get enough disappointments in life, you're going to get resentment. It follows. Like if you frustrate someone long enough, they get angry. You have enough disappointment, you get resentment. You get enough resentment, you get regression. Or another way to say regression is we kind of go on strike, and very often many of us sabotage our own progress unconsciously, not knowingly. And that interferes in a lot of things in their life. It interferes specifically with our identity. What's our identity? We're an adult, we're a man, we're a woman. But many of us, when we say in psychology regress, we're no longer the adult man or woman. We're a big baby. Yeah. We don't want to do this. I can't do this. I don't like doing this. And it interferes with our functioning. It interferes with how we get along with other people. It makes us have expectations, baby expectations, when your partner might think, I'm living with an adult. Uh-oh, I'm not living with an adult. I'm living with a baby. I didn't know that. And the person didn't know that. Right. And all this is a terrible deep state we live in, Adrienne. It's called our mind. And the deep state is our unconscious, which is a reservoir for unacceptable impulses and thoughts and memories and traumas. And it's very active. I hate to say it, but I think it's more in control than we are consciously. You don't have to look far in the world to see things are a little bit out of whack. I think it's from the unconscious.
Right. Now, you specialize in couples and families.
That's right.
In general, how long do people need to be in therapy?
You know, it varies with the couples. It really depends on, I guess, their expectations, but also how strong they are internally, how well they see reality, how well they regulate their emotions and impulses and instincts, their own identity, their own fragileness, and how much they want to remain as a couple.
Yeah.
Many couples don't have the idea that divorce is not an option. They think it is an option. So if you start entertaining it is an option, it's easy to find, well, I really don't like this and I put up with this for years, so I'm out. And a lot of times I think it's difficult for couples to see that you have to be all about your spouse, but in order for it to work, your spouse has to be all about you. We're rowing the boat.
Yeah.
We got to row it in the right direction.
Of course. But
how long? It varies. I would say that for problems that are, if the couple can communicate fairly well, it may be 6 months to a year. But some couples longer because they have such personality issues. That's very difficult. Very often I refer them for individual therapy to be seen by another therapist to work on those particular problems because it interferes with being a couple.
Do you think that sometimes that it could be that once they start the therapy, it's a case of that's a little bit of a crutch, so they don't actually want to finish the therapy, so it just continues and it's part of their life. It becomes part of their life. Is that why they could be with
I don't think so. I mean, I guess some people are very dependent that can happen, but at 100 to 150 a pop, you don't want to keep doing that.
Yeah, I know.
And there's only so much ground you can cover, and so I don't think it's really a crutch. And the people who are, to tell you something that, at least in my time, to be a therapist, it was really incumbent on the therapist to be in their own analysis, their own psychoanalysis. Sure. The average analysis is 4 times a week, 7 years. Yeah. And try paying for that when you're a graduate student or things like that.
No, I'm going to cut you off there because I know we're going to run out of time again, and we haven't. I've really touched on the fact
I talk too much, don't I? I'm so sorry.
It's fabulous. It would be awful to have an interview without you talking. But what is your approach? And is it evidence-based? I mean, as briefly as you can.
Yeah, my approach is probably kind of a little bit like me, old, and the approach is psychodynamic psychotherapy. Evidence-based is really more, they talk about cognitive therapy and things like that. This is pre-evidence-based, but I can tell you anecdotally, it's very, very powerful and it works, and that the evidence-based therapies have to utilize the psychodynamic approach. What is the psychodynamic approach? Quickly, which is that you look at childhood, you look at how you were raised. In psychology, we like to say if it isn't one thing, it's a mother, and then you got to look a little farther. But in the end, some of the traumas, it's like spilled milk. You can't cry over it, society says, but therapy says you have to. People have to emote and process what they went through. They're not aware of it, but it's back there dictating to them.
Dr. Steve, thank you so much for coming in again.
Thank you. It's great seeing you again.
Always good to see you.
Always great to see you, Adrienne.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information about Dr. Steve Barsky, you can find him at doctorsbarsky.com or iwantabuzz.com. Thank you for watching.